an absolutely glorious day for baseball today in South Philly. Some of the most fanatical fans in baseball packing Citizens Bank Park. National League Division Series coverage on TBS, presented by BlackBerry. This afternoon, it is Game 2 of this best-of-5 series. The Colorado Rockies, the wild card entrant in the National League, against the world champion Philadelphia Phillies. And hi, everybody, and welcome from Philly. Brian Anderson along with Joe Simpson. Great to have you with us. It was a masterpiece turned in yesterday by Cliff Lee. The Rockies now down 1-0 in that pivotal Game 2 in a best-of-5 series, Joe. And you don't have to give the Rockies the math. They know that there has not been a National League team come back from an 0-2 hole in division play.
And they may be going home after today, Brian, but they don't want to go home 0-2 against the defending world champions. And who better to send to the mound than 30-year-old veteran Aaron Cook. Aaron Cook doesn't have the world's best numbers against the Philadelphia Phillies in his career, but since he came back from the disabled list with a shoulder strain, he's been outstanding in 2 starts. Just 1 earned run allowed in 13 innings and just 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. But these Rockies know they've got to be a little more patient today against Cole Hamels at the plate.
Cole Hamels gets the ball for the Philadelphia Phillies. Of course, he had a great run in the postseason last year. And watching yesterday's ball game, Joe, the Philadelphia Phillies were wondering if they could flip the switch. Well, they certainly played with the swagger and the skill of a world champion yesterday.
They didn't finish the season with a swagger, though, Brian. And I was wondering if they would be able to tune it up for the postseason, if they still had the fire in them. They were not entitled to anything. They certainly didn't take anything for granted yesterday. And judging by their reactions, the way they played, I think this team is ready to try to repeat this year. Great pitching, great leadership in the dugout. They're ready to try to repeat their world championship.
And maybe one of the best 1-2 punches in the lefties, Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels. Hamels had one of the best postseasons in the history of baseball last year. 4 wins. The Swank left-hander takes his turn next in Game 2 on TBS.
We weren't born
40 miles an hour, steady wind of 26 miles per hour. It's only blowing at 9 miles per hour today. It's 65 degrees and hardly a cloud in the sky. It is a beautiful Thursday for baseball as we are set for Game 2 of this best-of-5 series between the Phillies and the Rockies. League Division Series coverage on TBS is brought to you in HD by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Let's get to the starting lineups. First for the visiting Colorado Rockies, this is the lineup that Jim Tracy posted today, Joe.
He flipped the guys at the top of the order, Brian. Carlos Gonzalez will lead it off instead of Dexter Fowler, who moves into the second spot. Todd Helton will bat third. Troy Tulowitzki had 2 hits yesterday, still in the cleanup spot. Garrett Atkins again will start at third base, as will Yorvit Torrealba, the catcher. Ryan Spilborghs replaces Brad Hopp out in right field, adding another right-handed hitter. Clint Farmas at second base. Aaron Cook is the pitcher. On the mound for the Phils, Cole Hamels, 25 years old, 6'3", 190 out of San Diego, California. Had a very mediocre season by his own account. A 10-11 record, a 4.32 ERA. And his last 3 starts, he had a 7.02 ERA. Didn't win any of those 3 starts coming down the stretch. He did, though, last year in the postseason, as you said, Brian, post one of the best postseason marks ever in baseball, going 4-0.
Emerged as a big game pitcher for sure. 4-0 and a 1.80 ERA, and his first pitch is in there for strike one, and away we go.
Fastball to both sides of the plate and an outstanding changeup. Changeup that he'll use mostly to right-handers, but has begun to use a little bit more to lefties down and in.
Now, yesterday against Cliff Lee, the Colorado Rockies were aggressive early in counts, especially at the top of the order. Jim Tracy saying his ball club showed their youth yesterday. Lee took advantage of that as he went the distance for the complete game in his first postseason game. So today you figure the young Rockies at the top of this order to be patient, but the way Hamels throws strikes, you might be behind in the count a great deal.
Well, right there, he just showed you the changeup to a left-hander. Broke kind of like a screwball almost, down and in, and he swings over the top of it. Another one. Just off the plate a little bit. Bob Davidson, the home plate umpire today, and he typically will give you a low strike.
2-2 to Carlos Gonzalez, and he works the count full.
His breaking pitch, he does have a curveball that he'll show once in a while. His slider's more like a cutter, but his 2 pitches are fastball and changeup.
And a bouncer for a base hit, so Carlos Gonzalez, the left-handed bat, comes up with a hit to start this game for Colorado, and the move pays off instantly for Jim Tracy.
Here's the defense behind Hamels today, and it's the same as it was yesterday. Ibanez, Victorino, and Worth left to right in the outfield. Third to first, Feliz, Rollins, Utley, and Ryan Howard. And Carlos Ruiz is his catcher today. You said that Jim Tracy mentioned they showed their youth yesterday. Brian, it was almost like he was saying in his own way, we've got to be more patient.
We've got to get a lot older in a hurry, or a lot more experienced anyway.
Well, and just work the count a little better. What the Rockies need to do today is certainly give Aaron Cook an early lead. That would be nice. But make Hamels work. Run up his pitch count, get into that Phillies bullpen, and then do some more damage.
Gonzalez takes off. Howard double clutches, and Gonzalez is in there with a stolen base. Running on the first move, even though the throw came to first, Gonzalez easily swiped second.
Went on his first move. Ryan Howard stepped in to make sure that he had a good sight line to Jimmy Rollins, but then couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and that was the difference. Howard made a throwing mistake yesterday in the first inning.
So the Rockies doing to the Phillies what the Phillies did to the Rockies yesterday, and that's get on and move runners as Fowler drops down a good bunt, a sacrifice bunt. Colorado has a runner at third with just 1 out.
And this may be exactly what Jim Tracy was thinking too, Brian, and that's get an early run, something they had an opportunity to do in the first and second inning yesterday. They didn't capitalize on those opportunities, and Cliff Lee settled in and pitched brilliantly.
Well, the Rockies do damage when they score first, more so than any other club in Major League Baseball. 65 wins this year when they get the early lead. They had a chance at an early lead yesterday and came up empty at 2 on with 2 outs in the first inning against Cliff Lee. And once he locked down, he was tough to handle and ended up finishing what he started yesterday.
Todd Helton will have an opportunity here just to hit a ground ball and get a run in. Infield back except for Feliz at third.
Helton, one of 2 lefties in the starting lineup for Colorado today. The 2 big lineup notes for Colorado. Not only is Atkins in there again for Ian Stewart, who we have not seen in the series, but also Brian Spilborghs for the left-handed hitting Hawk.
Helton did not like that call. Be a big boost for this Rockies offense to get on the board first.
And Helton, a little roller. Hamels coming home, not in time. Gonzalez scores. Helton safe at first. Hamels took a chance, high risk, high reward. And the Rockies are indeed on the board first.
I thought I could hear from our crowd mics someone yelling home. He certainly had a play at first, but maybe somebody else got his attention because he didn't have much of a play on Gonzalez at the plate. Heady base running by Gonzalez on the slow roller. And the Rockies do strike first thanks to their speed.
Gonzalez, a very fast player. He scores on the throw to the plate. Helton credited with an RBI and a fielder's choice. And here is Tulowitzki.
Rockies faced Hamels this year, but it seems like eons ago because it was his first start of the year back on April 10th, and they lit him up at Colorado. 11 hits and 7 runs. He didn't get out of the 4th inning.
And kind of a harbinger of things to come for Hamels this year, who had a losing record this season. He was 10-11 in 32 starts. Had an ERA of 4.32. His last 3 starts, Hamels is 0-2 with a 7.02 earned run average. Those are the kind of numbers that Charlie Manuel put together when he decided to go with Lee in game 1, keep Hamels for game 2.
Check out the numbers in day games. 9 starts and a 3.26 average against him.
0-2 to Tulowitzki.
Now, having said all that, Brian, there's also that Cole Hamels that showed who he really is on a couple of starts this year. 2 complete game shutouts. One June 4th at Los Angeles, a 5-hitter, and then September 1st he threw a 2-hit shutout at the Giants. Walked 1, struck out 9. It's there. It just hasn't been there on a consistent basis this year.
Now Hamels, the NLCS MVP, the World Series MVP. First time since 1997 a pitcher has done that. Livan Hernandez did that with the Marlins over a decade ago. Tulowitzki bounces one over to third. Feliz to second to turn in time. Hamels gets the double play. The Phillies go around the horn, but the Rockies strike first.
Shane Victorino. Victorino had a swipe yesterday. Utley as well stole a base. Ryan Howard will bat cleanup. Jason Worth a big day yesterday, including a triple. Raul Ibanez in left. Bottom third of the order, Pedro Feliz, Carlos Ruiz, and Cole Hamels. And on the mound for the Rockies, 30-year-old Aaron Cook, 6'3", 215 pounds, 11-6 this year with a 4.16 ERA. He is a sinker ball specialist. Early on, you'll be able to tell if he's on, if he's getting a lot of ground ball outs. But he's also working on 7 days rest, Brian, and he might feel a little strong.
His last start against the Milwaukee Brewers on October 1st, he went 8 innings in that game and just 1 run, and he pitched the wild card clinching game for the Colorado Rockies that day. As Jimmy Rollins rolls one out to Barbas, 1 gone. Sinker ball pitchers don't like to be too strong. They like a little fatigue to get more sink. We'll see how Cook deals with the extra days off between starts.
Well, he too, again, he's had some trouble with the Phillies in his career, and this year 2 starts against the Phillies, an ERA of almost 5, 11 innings, 6 earned runs allowed. He doesn't strike out a lot of people, and likewise he doesn't walk a bunch either.
Franchise leader in starts and victories, Aaron Cook. He has been quite a late season pickup for Colorado. Spent some time on the disabled list late in the season this year. Cook had a shoulder strain that knocked him out for a month on the schedule. He was placed on the disabled list at the end of August, on the 22nd of August, and then didn't return until the 25th of September. Victorino with a base hit. Usually, as the top of the order goes for the Phillies, so does their offense.
Take a look at the location of this pitch, though, Brian. It was up. Anything that's up is going to get hit on Aaron Cook because that means the pitch was probably pretty flat. He's got to pitch around the knees and have it sink down around the ankles.
Victorino with 25 stolen bases during the regular season. Caught 8 times, which is a big number. The Phillies had a tremendous success rate stealing bases, and 3 stolen bases in game 1 yesterday. And that is a big part of their game. A lot of people talk about the Phillies as this great lineup full of power and run production, but they steal bases as well as anyone in baseball.
And that all pretty much started when Davey Lopes came over as their first base coach, and in his career he was right up there too in the all-time percentage leaders.
Jim Tracy telling us earlier that they will put an emphasis on controlling the running game. Davey Lopes, a career 84% success rate as a player. Tracy knows all too well his skills at first base in that coaching box. A much different era these days than when Lopes was a player, but pretty calculated how the Phillies want to run against Colorado in this series.
Aaron Cook is pretty quick to the plate. He doesn't generally use a high leg kick. He's fast to the plate when he uses a slide step, meaning he doesn't pick his front foot up very high when he delivers to the plate. And that makes it harder for base stealers to be successful. But he's going to have to throw over more. He's going to have to step off and at least put the thought in the head of these Phillies stealers, base stealers, that he will come over there and try to give Torrealba some help.
A stolen base for the Rockies in the first, set up their first run. Gonzalez stole second, was bunted to third, then scored on a little ground ball from Helton.
Cook was 6-4 in the road department this year.
And there's the other part of the running game. It's not just the throws to first, the step-offs, but also the pitch-outs, all called by the Colorado dugout and Jim Tracy.
And again, if you weren't with us yesterday, the Phillies base runners have a green light anytime. But Charlie Manuel will put on a stop sign if he wants them to stay at first base and let someone hit.
Ball and a strike to Chase Utley. And a bouncer. Chance for two. To second. Tulowitzki guns one to first. Not in time. Utley with his great speed beats it out. And keeps the inning alive for the big slugger Ryan Howard.
Well, here is an example of something that the Phillies have to think about today, Brian. And that is, if you don't run, there's a real good chance if you've got a runner at first base today, you're going to hit into a double play with all the ground balls that Cook is able to create. Tulowitzki didn't get that ball quick enough to really have a play. Varmus floated that one to him.
So Utley's hustle allows Howard a swing at Aaron Cook in this first inning. Utley is a base stealer as well. 23 for 23 in stolen base attempts this year.
There are several guys in the lineup for the Phillies that have real good numbers against Aaron Cook. Rollins a .379 career mark, Utley .381, Ryan Howard 6 for 17 with a homer. Got to keep the ball down.
Ryan Howard had a good day yesterday. Had 2 hits. He was 2 for 4. That included a line out that turned into a double play. So 3 good at bats for Ryan Howard. He drove in a run and really had the key hit in yesterday's game on a line drive to left that was misplayed in the wind by Gonzalez. As Howard takes a strike. Well, I'm sure the outfielders are glad to show up and see the flags like they are today. It was quite a chore for them yesterday. And while the Phillies handled the poor conditions, there were a couple of misplays in the outfield for Colorado in yesterday's game.
It's not just the wind, and wasn't just the wind yesterday, but also the sun in right field. Tough place to play right field in day games.
That sun sets beyond the third base grandstand, and when these Phillies fans break out the white towels, it can be even tougher to see. That'll come more into play as we get to the middle to late innings today. 2 outs and a 2-2 count to Howard. To the opposite field. That one's hit well, and that one slices foul.
At home run distance, it was probably hit too hard to be affected by yesterday's wind, but it's possible that ball could have been pushed fair yesterday. Rockies are not employing a big shift on Ryan Howard like so many other teams do. And they are trying to keep the ball away from him, but he likes the ball out away from him where he can extend his arms and get some extension. And that short porch in left field is certainly within his reach, and he's deposited a lot of homers there.
Another 2-2 with Utley at first. And a long look by Aaron Cook. Both of Howard's hits yesterday were to the opposite field. 2 hits, an RBI, a run scored in yesterday's game. Finished third in the National League in the regular year with 45 home runs. Utley takes off. Howard takes a called strike 3 as Aaron Cook rings up the big Philly slugger. Rockies on top 1-0. We're ringing the bell.
star, is due to give birth to the couple's first child any day now. As a matter of fact, she's a couple of days late. Cole will not pitch in games 3 and 4 in Colorado, so he's going to stay here in Philadelphia to be with his wife. His mother-in-law is in town, but he told us yesterday he's very excited. The couple's first child, they know it's going to be a little boy. And, Brian, that changes everything, even in the midst of the playoffs.
First-time father right in the middle of the postseason. Not exactly well-timed, but a great moment for the Hamels family. And he certainly has the cell phone on back in the clubhouse just in case. It's Garrett Atkins. A little soft liner over to Howard for out number 1.
Sure, they'll name him Joe.
Why wouldn't they?
Good point.
Beautiful day in Philadelphia. Rockies scoring a run in the first inning on a Todd Helton RBI fielder's choice. And a 1-0 Colorado lead at Citizens Bank Park. Yesterday, a record-setting crowd here in Philadelphia. Attendance yesterday was 46,452, and they're right about there once again today. Colorado, by the way, has won 8 consecutive home playoff games. Excuse me, Philadelphia has won 8 consecutive home playoff games, just 2 off the Major League record. The Yankees won 10 straight. Torrealba, a bouncer, long throw for Rollins. And Torrealba will reach on an infield hit. Second hit of the game for Colorado.
Good range by Jimmy Rollins demonstrated here, but it's way too far to have to try to get a runner even like Torrealba. And throwing across his body, good effort. It's too tough a play to make. Yeah, Cole Hamels yesterday telling us that he had never pitched on short rest before, even though a lot of people were speculating he should have started yesterday. He said, I don't even know how to prepare for that. So it worked out great the way Cliff Lee pitched and put all doubters' questions to rest for Charlie Manuel.
Well, Hamels feels like he could do that at this point of his career. His innings were down from a year ago. He was well over 200 innings last year. Slightly under 200 innings pitched this year, which is kind of a demarcation for a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. But Hamels missed a little time earlier in the season, non-pitching related injuries. He was hit by a line drive off the bat of Prince Fielder. Also had an ankle injury that knocked him out for a start.
Brian Spilborgh's in the lineup today to give the Rockies at least one more right-handed hitter in the lineup. And when asked about Atkins starting again at third base over Stewart, he just said that he didn't want to give Hamels the opportunity to find some left-handers to go for outs if he got in jams.
Hamels with his first strikeout as he punches out Ryan Spilborghs.
He used just about everything in the repertoire. Look at Carlos Ruiz. He was set up real high, wanted the pitch up high, the target was high, it was delivered there, and they get the strikeout. But he threw him a changeup, curveball, and a fastball for the strikeout.
Hamels with 2 outs, and here is Clint Barmas, Colorado's second baseman.
Another good curve.
Barmas hit .245 during the regular year, but 23 home runs from the bottom of the order. Lost his shortstop job to Troy Tulowitzki in 2007, but has found an everyday job as the second baseman in 2009 after finding it very tough to find playing time a year ago. Hamels pouring in the strikes. 1-2 the count.
Well, the first inning, the top of the first, not a whole lot unlike yesterday when the Phillies defense kind of broke down, and it was Ryan Howard who caused it, and it happened again today.
Down he goes. Hamels puts one right by Barmas. Back-to-back strikeouts. And we head to the home second. Here come the Phillies. It's right-hander Aaron Cook, who works a scoreless first inning. Victorino with a single with 1 out in the first, but Cook able to get Utley and Howard to end the inning. He struck out Ryan Howard looking to end the frame. Jason Worth leads off. He'll be followed by Raul Ibanez, then Pedro Feliz. Jason Worth had a big afternoon in game 1. 2 hits, had a walk, he scored twice, he drove in a run. He banged a triple off the center field wall yesterday that on any other day would have been 30 rows up in the bleachers in left field.
He said he thought it was one of the hardest balls he had ever hit in his life. Said it was a 97 fastball. I got it barreled up, got it out front, and he admitted, yes, I was in my trot.
Which might have cost him an inside the park home run. He settled for the triple, however, and the RBI as he takes a mighty hack, 3-0. Gonzalez will make the call and the catch for out number 1. It's time for the big hit brought to you by Hass Avocados. Ryan Howard's double in the 6th that scored Chase Utley. This was a key play yesterday. Up into that win. And then Jason Ward's triple. This is the one we were talking about. That triple scored Ryan Howard. Gave the Phillies a 4-0 lead. Hass Avocados big hit. Philadelphia scored all of their runs in 2 innings. 2 in the 5th and 3 in the 6th. And it's all they would need with Cliff Lee going the distance yesterday. First complete game by a Philly in the postseason since Curt Schilling as Ibanez slices one. That is a foul ball.
To show you what happened on that ball that Worth hit yesterday, that ball was hit in the general direction of the Budweiser sign. It actually hit just above the State Farm sign. That's how far the ball was blown from left to right, and why it gave the outfielders so much trouble.
And ended up in, after the bounce, in straightaway center field. From where it started to where it finished, it was quite a circuitous route. I'm sure Brad Hawk never thought he'd be involved in a play when that ball left the bat yesterday, but that was the kind of day it was here in Philadelphia for game 1. Well, Raul Ibanez off to a good start. Symbolic of his season. He got off to a great start in his first season as a Philly this year, and yesterday, his first game as a Philly in the postseason, had 2 hits and drove in a pair. Wraps out into center. A base hit for Ibanez. A chance of Raul come down.
And you gotta love that shirt, don't you? He has been in the postseason before. He played in the division series for the Mariners back in 2000 against the White Sox and had a good series, went 3 for 8. Picks on a breaking ball here. That was up and lobbed it into center.
1 out base runner for the Phillies. Here's Pedro Feliz. Tied him up. Cook works ahead. Feliz drove in 82 runs during the regular season. Very productive down at the bottom of this Philadelphia order. And, with guys like Utley and Howard and Worth in front of him, he's certainly taken advantage of plenty of base runners in front of him this season.
To give you an idea of the Phillies and their success stealing bases, more to reiterate than anything else, even Raul Ibanez was perfect this year. He didn't run much, but he was 4 for 4.
If you're going to go, you got to know you can make it, right?
And get some help from your first base coach can tell you.
Little bouncer, slow roller, and they'll let it roll, and it just misses the bag for a foul ball by inches. Almost an infield hit.
I don't know if Aaron Cook was yelling to Garrett Atkins to let this roll, but if he did, it was a smart move. Whoever decided to let it go, a little spin on it. There was going to be no play, and it just missed the corner of the bag.
If it hits the bag, it's a fair ball. By that much, it's foul. Cook will give up his fair share of hits. More hits than innings pitched, but he doesn't walk many. And as Joe mentioned earlier, that threat of the double play is always there because of the ground balls he gets. A strikeout on Feliz. So the second strikeout for Aaron Cook. Not a big strikeout pitcher, but that's 2 Phillies he's punched out looking.
And both looking, and both on a similar pitch. Remember, he struck out Howard. He froze him on the inside corner on what was kind of a backup fastball. It came back to the inside corner that Ryan gave up on.
30-year-old Aaron Cook making his first postseason appearance since the World Series of '07. He pitched Game 4 against the Red Sox in '07. And took the loss that day. That was the World Series clinching game for Boston. John Lester beat Aaron Cook in that final game of 2007. So Colorado has lost their last 5 postseason games going back to the World Series of '07, while the Phillies have won 8 straight here in their home ballpark.
Bottom part of this Phillies order, Brian, is kind of underappreciated. You hear all the talk about Rollins, Victorino, Utley, Howard, Worth, but Ibanez drove in 93 runs. Feliz drove in 82. And Carlos Ruiz, batting 8th, had 9 home runs. They can do some damage too, and they do a lot to set up the top of the order at times for big innings.
30-year-old catcher from Panama, Carlos Ruiz. Chooch. And a luxury for Charlie Manuel to have a catcher who's good hitting in situations. He's a guy that will work the count. He uses right field well, but primarily he's out there because of how he handles this terrific pitching staff and how he controls the running game defensively.
Yeah, he's got a good arm too. Had a great at bat yesterday when he hit the 3-2 slider from Jimenez to right field. Drove in a run.
Only Ruiz with a hit and a walk yesterday. Ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the Philadelphia second inning. And he tied him up with a sinker. Down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Aaron Cook. 2 scoreless for the right-hander. And a beautiful look at Philadelphia's Center City. Great view of the downtown area from the ballpark. 1-0, the Rockies lead the Phillies. A first inning run for Colorado. Most important game 2 for both clubs. It's such a swing game in a 5-game series, Joe.
For the Colorado Rockies, going home with a split would be obviously ideal. That's the best they can do after losing yesterday. It's a given. But the fact that no National League team has ever rebounded from an 0-2 deficit, with one exception, back in 1981, when there was an extra round of playoffs because of the strike, back before the actual division series, the Dodgers overcame a 0-2 deficit to Houston.
And since the wild card came into effect in 1995, in the 15 years of division play, National League clubs who fall behind 0-2 in a best-of-5 are 0-19 in advancing. As Hamels works ahead of his pitching counterpart, Aaron Cook. Wasting no time. 3 pitches and a strikeout. Hamels has 3 consecutive strikeouts.
Left fielder Carlos Gonzalez.
Back to the top of the order now for Colorado. Carlos Gonzalez with 2 hits yesterday. Had 2 of the 6 hits for the Rockies against Cliff Lee. And he singled, stole a base, and scored a run in the first. So he's off to a great start in his first postseason. Just 23 years of age.
The inability of Ryan Howard to complete a pickoff of Gonzalez, though, in the first inning was huge. That allowed him to stay on base and eventually score. This guy can do a lot of things, though. He's got a good arm. He can play center, left, or right. Can run a little bit, although I know he's had a hamstring that's bothered him near the end of the season.
Well, Gonzalez tweaked a hamstring second to last week of the season against San Diego, and he hasn't been running much since, but he showed that he's back in form by taking off in the first inning. Stole the base against Hamels. Ball and 2 strikes on Gonzalez, and he hits one hard past Ugley. Gonzalez with 2 hits. He came to the Rockies in a trade with Oakland for Matt Holliday. He wears his number 5, and he's had a big impact on this ball club since Jim Tracy took over.
Stayed back beautifully on this. Slow curveball looked like, but he left it out over the plate some, and he kept his hands back enough. Put a good swing on it.
3rd hit against Hamels. 2nd for Gonzalez. And we'll see if he's on the move here with Dexter Fowler at the plate. Changeup.
Dexter Fowler going after that first pitch again. Watch again on this base hit. High leg kick. Gets the foot down quickly, and the body started moving forward, but the hands didn't go with the body. Had a little left. Got the big end of the bat on the ball for a base hit. Now Fowler didn't draw any public criticism from his manager for his exuberance yesterday, but did talk about how, when he was referring to showing youthfulness yesterday and inexperience, referred to his leadoff hitter, Dexter Fowler, swinging at the first pitch of the game and hitting a soft fly ball to right. And then in the 9th inning, down 5-0, leading off the 9th, led off with a soft fly to right on the first pitch.
Saw 14 pitches in 4 at-bats yesterday. So Tracy flip-flops the top 2 in the order. The young speedsters, putting Gonzalez in the leadoff spot. The switch hitter Fowler in the 2 hole.
Cole Hamels has had a good fastball so far today, Brian, and seems to be locating it.
Got a runner at first with one out, a pitch out, nothing going. Ball and 2 strikes. There's Jim Tracy. Took over May 29th for Clint Hurdle. Technically, the job is open in Colorado, the managerial position. Realistically, it's probably not, because this deal for Tracy ends at the end of the year.
Not when you're posting a record like that. I wouldn't think that there would be too many openings.
And the likely National League Manager of the Year, Jim Tracy. He took the Dodgers to the postseason back in '04. 5 years at LA, had a couple of seasons in Pittsburgh as the Pirates skipper, the bench coach to start the year for Clint Hurdle. And now the manager, and he has the Rockies back in the playoffs for the second time in the last 3 years. Fowler takes a called strike. And Cole Hamels, his last 4 outs have been strikeouts.
Another well-located fastball to the outside corner and at the knees. And again, Bob Davidson will give you that low strike. Good pitch again from Hamels. And if he can locate that fastball the rest of the day, it's going to give the Rockies hitters even more problems. They have the lead, but they need to add to it. You can't play sudden death with the Phillies in their home ballpark the way they hit home runs.
Helton drove in the run in the first. Had a swinging bunt that Hamels tried to make a play at the plate with. Gonzalez slid in safely, and Helton reached on a fielder's choice.
Yesterday the game went by real fast. At this juncture yesterday we were through 4 innings. But we're only in the 3rd today, and that shadow has crept out all the way out in front of home plate now and could be giving the hitters some problems. Didn't happen until about the 5th or 6th yesterday.
Gonzalez takes off. Howard fires to second in time. This time Ryan Howard gets his man. And Gonzalez is caught stealing. Inning over. The Rockies leave Helton at the plate. The order, Jimmy Rollins and Shane Victorino against Aaron Cook. Cook with 3 strikeouts, including back-to-back strikeouts to end the second inning. He punched out Feliz and Ruiz.
Hamels 9 hits on the year. Drove in 5 runs.
He's kind of got a Raul Ibanez thing going at the plate these days. Maybe it rubbed off a little bit.
He's going to have a take sign right here.
2 of them probably.
Even if he's doing his Ibanez impersonation.
Saw it all the way. But Charlie Manuel, ever the hitter. Cole Hamels draws a walk. And a base runner for the Phillies. Just a moment ago, we had a chance to visit with Jim Tracy, the Rockies skipper. We asked him about the flip-flop of his 2 young players at the top of the order today.
Well, you know, Brian, obviously Dexter yesterday showed signs of playing in his first postseason game, and that's understandable considering the fact that he's played a year of at the major league level and hasn't seen a pitch in AAA. So, you know, to get him in a situation where if we can do some things with him like we did in the first inning, some situational at-bats, obviously after we stole the base, he bunted Gonzalez to third just to try to relax him a little bit. Obviously that intent for him, and also to try to get a run on the board for ourselves and basically relax the group in general.
Well, and getting an early run too, Jim, that was important too, to get your guys to relax a little bit.
It was, Joe. You know, obviously, as I said to you guys earlier today, you watch for signs with Aaron Cook, and you know, these first few innings, he tells you an awful lot about himself early on. The ball's been on the ground quite a bit, which means his sinker is with him today, which is a good sign. And you know, with these shadows creeping in, it was something I was trying to do yesterday, never got an opportunity to do so. But I think as we go along, if we're able to hold on to this 1-run lead and have a chance to add on, we'll try to create some situational at-bats for ourselves.
Rockies manager Jim Tracy, and right on cue, after walking the pitcher Cole Hamels, Aaron Cook gets a double play ball, and a nifty double play started by Todd Helton.
3-time Gold Glove winner, able to step on the bag and make a quick throw to Tulowitzki. Kind of a high bouncer there, so he had to make it quick, but in time. Nicely done.
Those are tough throws for left-handed throwing first baseman, and we've seen 2 in the last 2 innings. Howard cutting down Gonzalez, and the slick fielding Rockies first baseman Todd Helton taking care of Jimmy Rollins. So 2 outs, nobody on for Shane Victorino. Singled off Cook in the first. And a bouncer to Barmas. Bobbles. Victorino safe again. I think Barmas had designs on flipping that to Tulowitzki.
I think he did too. I think he was looking up at Troy and had the ball slip under his glove. It'll be a base hit. Reaching to his glove in case the ball was there, and looking at Tulowitzki here, but he didn't have it.
It's going to be a tough play for Barmas, even if he comes up with it cleanly, to get the speedy Victorino. 2 hits for Victorino, and here's Utley with 2 outs and a runner at first. Rockies lead it 1-0 on a first inning run, an RBI from Helton,
and a running situation for Victorino.
Cook had 3 pickoffs this year. Has a good move, varies his move. Phillies with 3 stolen bases yesterday. They were caught once. And Cook will take another look at Victorino.
And if you get too concerned about it, you start worrying about it too much. If he's going to get a good lead or a jump, then you might make a mistake at the plate and it costs you 2 runs. Throwing over, stepping off, okay, but you still got to make a good pitch. Good lead for Victorino.
Utley bounces one foul.
Talking to Charlie Manuel before the game about his team's approach for Aaron Cook. And talked to Milt Thompson about it too, his hitting coach. He said they've got to make Cook get the ball up. If he throws you a pitch that starts at the knees and you, especially left-handed hitter, try to pull it, you're playing right into his hand. The ball's going to sink down around your ankles and you're going to top it.
But as Jim Tracy mentioned, a lot of balls on the ground already today, so that's a good sign for the Rockies. Jim Tracy saying Cook is one of those guys, a lot like Derek Lowe of the Atlanta Braves and some other sinker ball pitchers. He'll show his hand early. If he's struggling, the ball's up or outs are in the air, that is cause for concern in that Rockies dugout.
I think that's the case with just about any sinker baller. You like to see early ground outs to know they're on.
Oh, 0-2 to Utley. Chase Utley will be 31 in December. A 4-time All-Star. He still had a productive year this year. Utley drove in 93, hit 31 homers, and a .364 hitter in 22 at-bats against Aaron Cook in his career.
Yeah, he's worn him out. But more than likely, he's going to see a sinker here. When he gets ahead in the count, Cook doesn't try to trick you with anything else other than his sinker most of the time.
Victorino, a big lead at first. Utley standing right on top of the plate, and Cook misses upstairs.
If I'm Charlie Manuel, I want Victorino running here. At the very worst, if he gets thrown out, you get Utley in a better pitch count leading off the next inning instead of having to hit behind in the count.
Torrealba sets up away, and a check on Victorino. One thing about Chase Utley, nobody in the National League was hit by more pitches this year and over the last 3 years than Chase Utley. It's tough to get one on that inside corner against him, especially with a fastball.
Well, he and Rollins and Victorino all stand right on top of the plate. Slightly open stance, but you can see his back foot, his toes are almost on that inside line of the batter's box. Looked like Torrealba was about to move in.
Saw that.
Like they were going to try something inside. You remember they froze Howard in the first inning with a fastball that backed up over the inside corner.
Question is that a decoy, knowing the throw is going to first?
Could be. Likes the ball down. Very quick hands.
Well, the crowd boos, but nothing makes Davey Lopes happier than to see this kind of attention paid to his base runners. So far, Cook has been able to make his pitches and control the running game at this point. He's got a big pitch coming to Chase Utley. Ball and 2 strikes. Utley fouls it away.
Here's something else. Bob Davidson behind the plate has a nickname of Balkaday Bob. If you're not coming to a complete pause and set when you're holding these runners on, that's one guy that's going to call you on it.
23rd season as an umpire. Bob Davidson returning to the postseason for the first time since 1998. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. And Utley takes a called strike 3. Pinpoint command for Cook. He dotted the inside corner, and the side is retired. Cook has 4 strikeouts and 3 scoreless on the board. National League Division Series. The series will head to Denver, Colorado for Game 3 on Saturday. Jason Hamill pitches for Colorado. No pitcher announced yet for Charlie Manuel. Depends on how he gets through this game and what kind of relievers he needs. So, it's supposed to be cold in Denver this weekend.
It's only 35 degrees there right now. Saw Utley freeze on that call third strike. You just saw Todd Helton check his swing. I'm not sure these guys are getting a real good look. But what a sinker there from Cook for the strikeout. Great movement. The shadow really a problem for the hitters. Got a bright batter's eye in the backdrop, and the ball changing colors about 3 times on the way to the plate.
Hamels falling behind Todd Helton, who leads off this 4th inning. Both Hamels and Cook with 4 strikeouts. Helton with the RBI, the fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. Had a little dribbler just in front of the home plate area. Allowed Gonzalez to score from 3rd. Hamilton was at the plate when Gonzalez was thrown out at second base trying to steal. The 2-2. Count stays at 2-2.
As he gets a new piece of lumber. He had a triple here, his first ever at bat in the postseason 2 years ago.
Helton had a big comeback season in 2009. He finished 4th in the National League in hitting. He hit .325 this year. 15 home runs. Had 86 driven in. On base a lot. He was 3rd in the league in on base percentage. .416 was his number this season after off-season back surgery. And he hammers that one to center field. A base hit. Now, between innings, we had a chance to catch up with Philly hitting coach Milt Thompson. And we talked about the approach against Aaron Cook.
Well, Bob's giving him that low strike, and I told the guys to make him bring the ball up, and he's getting that pitch, but we still have to make him bring the ball up so we can hit some line drives.
Milt, this is Joe, and I was just curious about Ryan Howard. I know that this team does not employ a shift against him. He seems to be willing to take the ball the other way if they're going to work him away.
That's what Ryan has to do. His strength is hitting the ball the other way. When he's got got it going where he can hit the ball at the ballpark any place, it's a great thing.
How much hitting do you get into with your manager, a great hitting coach in his own right?
Oh, we talk hitting every day. Every day at home we have extra hitting. First day in on the road, we do a lot of hitting. We talk a lot of hitting.
And how's that pitching arm holding up after all that BP this year?
Well, I don't throw a lot of BP. Just in the cage, I try to throw a little bit. I'm not a very good pitcher. I was an outfielder.
That's a good collaboration, though, when he and Charlie Manuel can work with the hitters and talk hitting with their guys. As Charlie says, when he was the hitting coach in Cleveland, he wanted his hitters to be the best going. He wanted everybody to hit 300, wanted everybody to be successful, and would work as long and hard as it took for everybody to be good.
Well, Charlie's playing days in Japan kind of affected how he coaches hitting and thinks about hitting, because he hit a lot in Japan. He said it was not unfamiliar to go an hour, maybe an hour and a half of straight batting practice, and you just hit and hit and hit, which means somebody has to throw and throw and throw.
Right.
And Milt Thompson has that duty during the game and to get his pinch hitters ready and what have you. Charlie believes in the numbers. He said, just like a marathon runner, you get a second wind at some point. As Tulowitzki pops it up, Chase Utley will make the catch for out number 1.
Todd Helton had a good at bat against Hamels leading off this inning, Brian, and again it goes back to something that Jim Tracy said. He needed his hitters to be a little more patient, work the count a little more. He hasn't thrown an exorbitant number of pitchers, 52, but at least the guys that are going to deep counts are getting a good look at him and seem to be putting good swings on him.
Well, here's Garrett Atkins. Atkins back in the starting lineup. With 78 games at third base this year. He has been the anchor at third base for the Rockies the last few seasons. Big run producer. But Ian Stewart took over that job this season. Ian Stewart has not appeared in this series yet. A talented young left-handed hitter and a defensive specialist. Phillies sending out the 2 left-handed starters, and Lee and Hamels kind of taking away Jim Tracy's power from the left side a little bit.
And there's a chance that Jay Happ will pitch game 3. Another lefty.
Well, there is a little history between these two. Back in April, Hamels giving up the home run to Garrett Atkins. Atkins hit just 9 home runs this year. Drove in 48 after 2 seasons of over 100 RBIs. Just got a piece of that one.
Yeah, again, that was back on April 10th. That seems like well over a year ago. First start of the year for Cole. 3 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs.
Ball and 2 strikes on Garrett Atkins. Got Helton at first. Just got a piece of another one.
Another good at bat.
Pitch count at 57. The Rockies doing a much better job today against Hamels than they did yesterday against Lee. Lee went the distance with 113 pitches. Hamels at 57 through 3 1/3. And he strikes out Garrett Atkins. Change the string on him.
Beauty.
Second out of the inning, the 5th strikeout for Cole Hamels.
One of the questions that went unanswered yesterday for Jim Tracy was, what will Charlie Manuel do if he has to go to his bullpen? Cliff Lee took care of that with a 9-inning complete game effort. And the Rockies are certainly hoping that they can get to Hamels enough to get him out of the game and get into that Phillies bullpen that's been in disarray for most of the season.
Two outs for Yorvi Torrealba. Helton a leadoff single, still at first, as Torrealba takes a strike.
So a few more curveballs today.
Fastball just missed.
Yeah, and it's not like he can't throw hard. That was 91. Just missed off the corner. You've got to respect it. And when he's establishing his fastball on the corners like he did early, you don't have the luxury of guessing much.
That one's hit well, deep left field. Torrealba will watch this one fly out of here. Yorvi Torrealba with a 2-run home run. And the Rockies have a 3-0 lead in the 4th inning. A rocket from Torrealba.
No doubt about that one, Brian. That looked like something up. Yep, the curveball. I just said he had thrown more today. A little unusual for him, and then he hangs one. And Torrealba didn't miss it.
Yorvi Torrealba hit just 2 home runs during the regular year. But a 2-run shot here in the 4th inning. And the Rockies have a 3-0 lead on Hamels and the Phillies. Well, he has been a hot hitter in the final month of the season. Just his 2nd career postseason clout.
He had a good postseason for them in 07, though. He was one of their stars that helped get them to the World Series.
Unexpected power source for the Rockies. And the first home run of this series. 2 prolific home run hitting ball clubs during the regular season comes from the Colorado catcher.
Says something about the pitching, doesn't it, Brian? That you've got the numbers 1 and 2 home run hitting teams, and the first home run hit in the series is not till midway through game 2.
So much talk about what was wrong with the Rockies offense yesterday. I think it had a lot to do with the man on the mound for the Phillies.
It did. Certainly did.
In the left field, Ibanez will run it down. The inning is over, but Yorvi Torrealba homers for the first time since May 6th. His 2nd postseason homer, and it's 3-0 Colorado. November 9th, only on TBS. Sellout crowd at Citizens Bank Park. Game 2 of this best-of-5 series. And the Colorado Rockies with a 3-0 lead for their starter, Aaron Cook. He faces Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Raul Ibanez in this 4th inning. Howard struck out looking his last time up. Philadelphia still has not put a runner in scoring position today. They have 3 hits in this game, all singles. Victorino, Ibanez, and Victorino again on an infield hit. As Howard rips one foul, just foul down the right field line.
Jerry Meals is trying to find a place to hide behind Todd Helton. I don't blame him. First base umpire, ball was hitting right at him.
Umpires are all lined up. The postseason, you get the 2 outfield umpires. As a hot shot comes right at you.
Look out.
Your instincts make you want to go toward the seats, but that ball is hooking right at you. As Howard sends one into right center, a base hit. Fowler cuts it off. Ryan Howard has his first hit of the day and a leadoff single for the Phillies.
Aaron Cook needs a shutdown inning for his offense. They gave him a 3-run lead on the home run by Torrealba. But it's not easy to do that against this Phillies offense. There's no relief anywhere. Too many weapons.
Second straight inning, the Phillies have had their leadoff man aboard. Cook got a ground ball from Rollins last inning to wipe out the leadoff runner as he faces Jason Worth. Got the mohawk working, Aaron Cook. I assume that's what is left under that hat.
I think so.
As a strike, Cook showing a lot of movement with his fastball.
He had a complete game shutout himself this year. Came May 21st against Atlanta. 4-hitter. Walked 1, struck out 3. Again, he doesn't strike out a ton of people, although he's got 4 already today. He relies on contact and letting his defense help him.
And a bouncing ball to short. Tulowitzki will take it himself. And a double play, the second turn by the Rockies. A 6-3 double play as we check in with EJ in Atlanta. All right, Ernie, thanks a lot. And Adam Wainwright, a guy who is likely headed to a Cy Young Award. Chris Carpenter struggled yesterday against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers protecting the home field yesterday.
Clayton Kershaw is mighty good, too. I think the Dodgers, of the 4 teams that are in this postseason for the National League, I think the Dodgers are getting the least amount of respect. Nobody's talking much about them.
So many questions in their starting pitching. But Kershaw, the young lefty, has him talking about Sandy Koufax, although with an asterisk. But anytime you start bringing up Koufax and a left-hander, you're in dangerous waters. But Kershaw has electric stuff. Kershaw beat the Rockies this past weekend of the regular season to seal the division title for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Colorado 3-0 over Philadelphia. Game 2 of this National League Division Series. We're at Citizens Bank Park in South Philly. Brian Anderson with Joe Simpson and David Aldridge. Helton drove it a run in the first on a fielder's choice, and then Yorvi Torrealba, not known for his home run power, belts a 2-run homer off Hamels in the top of this frame as Ibanez sends one out to Barmes. Ground balls everywhere for Aaron Cook. 4 shutout on the board for the 30-year-old right-hander. To the 5th inning. Clint Barmes leads off for Colorado. 3-0 the Rockies lead. A run in the first, 2 in the 4th on a Torrealba home run. Barmes struck out against Hamels his first time up. And the changeup has him out in front. Quickly 0-2 on the Rocky second baseman.
That changeup is so effective because of the great arm action, Brian. There's no difference to the hitter's eye between that arm action and that of the fastball. Very deceiving.
Colorado with 3 runs on 5 hits. They've had a hit in every inning. There's been a base runner in every inning. The big difference, Cook getting 2 double plays as Barmes is out to center field. 1 gone here in the 5th. And it's time now for the Travelers mid-game recap. Todd Helton in the first inning. After a sacrifice bunt moved Gonzalez to third. This slow roller scored the run, a fielder's choice and an RBI for Helton. And Torrealba got one up in the zone and sends it out of here. His second postseason home run. He hit one in the league championship series against Arizona back in 07. And he puts Colorado on top 3-0.
Aaron Cook doesn't want to spend a whole lot of time standing at the plate here, even with one out. Conserve your energy, make him throw a pitch or two, and then head back to the dugout and take a rest.
Now, Cook had 5 hits this year. Actually had a hit in the World Series back in 07. Missed the first 2 rounds of the postseason in 07 with an oblique strain. Came back and lost game 4, and he's going to dump that one at a base hit. So Aaron Cook, right off the label, delivers a single with 1 away.
Well, it was a big turn he made. He got to first and just planted himself there. Fastball right in the heart of the plate, and he just fought it off. So he's going to do some base running now.
That's 2 postseason hits for Aaron Cook. Some guys go a lifetime, never have a hit in the postseason.
Yes, they do. What are you trying to say?
Top of the order. Carlos Gonzalez steps in. Gonzalez has swung the bat well. 2 for 2 at the plate. Scored the first Rockies run. Colorado made a long-term offer to Matt Holliday after the season last year. Holliday had 1 year left. He did not accept, and a trade was made. There were a couple of teams, well, a lot of teams interested, but the Oakland A's came up as the suitable bidder for Dan O'Dowd and the Rockies. And the Rockies sent Holliday to Oakland for 3 players. 2 big league contributors, however, Carlos Gonzalez and Colorado's closer, Houston Street.
Well, this guy has an interesting combination of power and speed, as we were talking about before his last at bat when he singled. After the All-Star break, his OPS 992.
On base plus slugging percentage, and he slugs one into right center this time. That's going to go to the wall. Can Cook score? That's the question. The pitcher is rounding third. He'll stop there. And it's a double for Carlos Gonzalez, who has 3 hits today against Cole Hamels.
Well, a stroke of genius by Jim Tracy to flip-flop the guys at the top of the order, because Gonzalez is 3 for 3. Got a pitch down and out over the plate, and he put another good swing on it. Remember, he got a changeup last time up, and he stayed back and hit it to right field. This time a double to right. So the swing by Aaron Cook, putting the ball in play and getting on base, worked out great for the Rockies. They're in business second and third.
Rich Doobie, the Phillies pitching coach, talking it over with Cole Hamels. And bullpen activity early for Philadelphia. Chad Durbin is loosening. Well, Jim Tracy told us earlier in this game, tack-on runs are important at this point. The Phillies can score quickly and often. Colorado with a 3-0 lead, a chance here with a base hit, and the speedy Gonzalez at second base to tack 2 more on.
And their infield will play in, not wanting to concede any more runs to the Rockies the way Aaron Cook is pitching. And with the pitcher running at third.
Dexter Fowler. Chance to be a run producer here. And a sacrifice bunt that set up the first run in the first. Hamels struck him out looking in the 3rd inning. And Hamels looking for the strikeout here.
They're just trying to tease Dexter Fowler, it appears to me, Brian, just by trying to work the ball off the plate, off speed pitches, using his aggressiveness and at times over aggressiveness against him. I'm not sure he's really gotten a good pitch to hit yet in this series.
Took something off, and Fowler out in front, and it's a ball and 2 strikes on the young switch hitter. Fowler sends one to left. Backing up Ibanez. Cook, the runner at third, tags. And he will score. The throw comes into third base. He's safe there. If Gonzalez is thrown out, I'm not sure Cook stepped on the plate in time.
That's a really risky play that Gonzalez just executed. He's fortunate to be in there safely, but you got to make sure that guy at third base tags and scores. As you just pointed out, Brian, if he's out here and if Cook hasn't touched home plate, the run doesn't count. But able to hold on to the bag. Cook was just kind of jogging in. And if they'd gotten him, he wouldn't have scored. Big risk, but it worked out.
Home plate umpire Bob Davidson was right on the play. Cook kind of turned around, surprised that Gonzalez tried the move. But it works out for the Rockies. They get another run. They lead it 4-0 as Helton pops up. The inning is over. Colorado tacks one on. And it was started by the Mohawk pitcher. A 1-out single, and he scores. And the Rockies lead it 4-0.
Exactly, sprinting to home plate. Gonzalez is advancing. Watch the slide at third, and Aaron Cook was not yet to home plate. If they tag out Gonzalez, there's no run scored for the Rockies. Some more youthful exuberance, but it worked out for Gonzalez, who made it in there.
Yeah, no harm, no foul, but you can bet Jim Tracy using that as an instruction tool between innings.
Well, he was probably yelling, hurry up to Aaron Cook.
And a good lesson for us all. You got to run all the way through no matter what. Pedro Feliz, a ground out. Boy, the ground balls are coming with regularity against Aaron Cook, who has the big sinker ball working today in Philadelphia. I've got him for just one fly ball out. Everything else has been ground balls or strikeouts.
Exactly. The only fly ball out was by Worth to left field in the second inning. 12 out of 13.
And two double plays that wiped out leadoff base runners. Gave up a leadoff walk in the third and a leadoff single in the fourth. doing what he does best. Here's Carlos Ruiz. At the pitcher spot coming up next for Philadelphia. Charlie Manuel has already sent Greg Dobbs to the on-deck circle.
Well, if he goes ahead to pinch hit for Cole Hamels, this is exactly the way the Rockies would have drawn it up today. And that's get in that Phillies bullpen early. The only thing you're going to have to keep your eye on now is Aaron Cook. Remember, just 2 starts since coming back from the disabled list. He is working on 7 days rest today. 85 pitches is how many he threw in the 8-inning effort against Milwaukee. And he's at 62 right now. 63.
There's Joe Blanton. Starting pitcher for Charlie Manuel now in the bullpen. Blanton and Jay Happ and Pedro Martinez all in the bullpen. And the Game 3 starter will basically be decided for Manuel based on what he has to do with his bullpen today, as Ruiz draws the walk. That's the second walk issued by Aaron Cook. There's Pedro.
Batting for Phillies pitcher Cole Hamels, number 19, Greg Dobbs.
So here comes Dobbs. Cole Hamels is out after 5 innings and 4 runs and on the hook for the loss. Matched up against the Rockies earlier this year. It was his first start of the season. Gave up 7 earnings in 3 2/3. 4 earned runs today. And now he'll turn it over to his offense to try to get him back in it.
This guy's a terrific pinch hitter, a .278 career average, but this year he struggled pinch hitting, just 9 for 54. A .167 average. Didn't have a pinch hit homer. Good.
Dobbs had a calf injury that knocked him out for about a month.
Good low ball hitter.
He was one of the best pinch hitters a season ago. Hit .355 in a pinch hitting role, the best in the National League. He also drove in 16 runs in that role. Earned himself a multi-year contract as a pinch hitter from the Phillies. He and Raul Ibanez were teammates in Seattle. And both Dobbs and Ibanez credit a lot of their hitting success to Dave Hansen, former Mariner.
What he'd like to do is get the count in his favor and get something low and in that he can golf out of here.
Ball and 2 strikes on Dobbs.
What happens here, Brian, is that when Cook gets ahead of you in the count and you've got to shorten up your stroke a little bit or guard the plate some, is that pitch comes in about knee high that you think is something hittable, and there's such late movement on it and sinking action, it's tough to stop your swing, and that's where the ground outs come from and why he gets so many double plays in this situation.
Cook with 2 double plays today. And Dobbs sends one to right. Spilborghs is there for the out. Cook got one in on his hands for out number 2. Sun starting to become a factor. The tough Sun field here at Citizens Bank Park is right field, and that's the shot from our right field camera looking back into the sun.
And the worst part of all for that is that with the hitter standing in the shadows, if you're wearing your sunglasses the whole time, it's hard to see the ball off the bat.
And flip downs just aren't cool anymore, so you wouldn't want to wear those. There's a line shot right to Tulowitzki. Side retired. Cook is pitching well today on the road. 5 shutout innings, 4-0 Rockies.
form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Back in Philadelphia, Citizens Bank Park. And a quiet Citizens Bank Park at this point. Plenty of sunshine to go around today. Much better conditions for baseball than yesterday. But the Rockies have a 4-0 lead as we head to the 6th inning. And Philadelphia, Joe, has a new pitcher in Joe Blanton.
Blanton was used exclusively as a starter this year. Went 12-8 and finished strong for the Phillies. Only 4 relief appearances in his big league career prior to this, and 3 of those were when he first got called up by Oakland back in 2004.
Blanton started in 3 games in the postseason last year, and resulting in Phillies wins in all 3. Beat the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Rays in the World Series.
And went 4-0 with the Phillies in the regular season after he was acquired from Oakland.
There was some talk that Blanton would be the Game 3 starter. And I think the plans will have changed now for Charlie Manuel. Still has the option of the left-hander Jay Happ. And, of course, former Cy Young Award winner Pedro Martinez is still in the go position as well. Tulowitzki bounces one to third. Long throw for Feliz in time for the out. And one gone for Joe Blanton and the Phillies in the 6th inning. A lot of baseball coming up today. First of a triple header today in Major League Baseball. The postseason coverage on TBS continues with the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Next, that'll be Game 2. Adam Wainwright against Clayton Kershaw. And then Game 1 between the Red Sox and the Angels. John Lester gets the call for Boston against John Lackey for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Pinch hitter Ian Stewart. First appearance for Stewart in this series. And likely to stay in the game at third base the rest of the way as he pinch hits for Garrett Atkins.
Joe Blanton works fast, fastball, curveball, and a changeup. He'll throw his changeup in any count. But if you get in the box, you better be ready because he likes to work fast.
Ian Stewart, big home run hitter for Colorado this year. The 25 home runs this season for the Rockies. He basically took the job from Garrett Atkins. A plus defender at third base who also brings a big power bat. His batting average this year was only .228.
There are people in the Rockies camp that think that he is as good a defensive third baseman as there is in the National League right now. They have that much confidence in him. They say he's made that much. He's made that many strides in his defensive work that they're touting him for a future Gold Glove.
That's been the one spot in the lineup, if you follow the Rockies all season, to not see Ian Stewart in the starting lineup the first 2 days is a little bit unusual the way the season has gone. But with the 2 left-handed starters, Tracy went with Atkins as Stewart strikes out in his first postseason at bat, and 2 gone for Joe Blanton in this 6th inning.
Good changeup, perfect location, dying right at the back point of the plate.
Cole Hamels finished with 5 strikeouts. And now Blanton with 1. And here's Torrealba. He had the big hit for the Rockies in the 4th. A 2-run home run with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Those 2-out run-producing hits. Such a psychological blow for the opposition.
Crushers.
It's probably the last thing on Hamels' mind. He's got 2 away. And a runner at first base in Todd Helton. And a guy not known to hit the long ball. And it's Torrealba who made it 3-0 with his home run. Jimmy Rollins takes care of him in a 3-up, 3-down inning for Joe Glenn. Colorado 4, Philadelphia 0. The muscle coming up for the Phillies. Whitman Bridge heading into Center City on a beautiful Thursday in Philadelphia. 4-0 Colorado as we head to the Philly half of the 6th inning. Victorino leads off, then Chase Utley, and then Ryan Howard against Aaron Cook, who is pitching well today. A lot of ground ball outs for Aaron Cook.
Ball is moving all over the place as Ian Stewart stays in the game defensively at third base. And that's a pitch right there, Brian, that has been very effective for him today. That one had a little more of the plate, but he's pitched into the lefties and got some called third strikes in there.
Now Victorino has 2 of the Philadelphia 4 hits. Cook's given up just 2 walks. All of the hits singles.
That wind's picked up a little bit again, too, blowing out toward right.
Three and 1 on Victorino. This can be one of the loudest ballparks in all of baseball.
And they are going crazy right now trying to get something started.
A strike right on the outside corner.
Cliff Lee said it distracted him a little bit yesterday too.
It's a big pitch for Cook. 3-2 now to Victorino. And a bouncer, going to be a tough play. Barmas fires, and it's off Helton. Victorino on his way to second. That was a tough chance for Clint Barmas. It'll go as a base hit and an error. And the Phillies, for the first time today, have a runner in scoring position.
He was going to get him, though, Brian. A good throw gets him, and an in-between hop, to say the least, for Todd Helton, who's very good on short hops, but that one was not a short hop. It was kind of a long hop that he tried to reach out and get. Actually bounced a little bit to his left.
Barmas, a shortstop's arm at second base, comes up short, and a misfire gives the Phillies a runner in scoring position with Chase Utley coming up.
Hunting for a base hit. Try to put runners on the corners for Howard. Trying to get a big inning started. Down by 4. Getting that runner over to third with nobody out's not a bad thing, but you'd like to see Chase Utley get on base too.
First activity of the day for the Rockies, Jose Contreras. Utley is 0 for 2. Cook struck him out with an inside corner fastball back in the third. And he tried to go back in there. Ball and a strike on Utley. Utley had a hit yesterday, but has struck out 3 times in this NLDS already.
He doesn't hit the ball to left field very often. Mostly a pull hitter. As a result, Tulowitzki with a runner at second. Tulowitzki kind of bird dogging Victorino and playing way up the middle for Utley.
That one's hit well to right. A base hit. Spilborghs has a good arm. They will hold Victorino at third. And you can see why. Spilborghs unleashes a missile to the plate. So Utley singles. And here come the Phillies, first and third, with the big slugger coming up as Bob Apodaca comes out.
Pitch that was belt high and out over the plate a little bit. He likes the ball in. Good low ball hitter, but he turned on that one. And the only time they've really squared up any balls today so far, Brian, has been when Aaron's gotten the ball up. Terrific play here by Spilborghs. And what the Rockies would love right here, they would concede the run to get one more ground ball and get a double play.
Well, yesterday it was the middle of the order that did the damage for the Phillies. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Raul Ibanez. Big days offensively for all. Utley had a hit, Howard 2, Worth 2 hits and an RBI, and Ibanez drove in a pair on 2 hits.
3 extra base hits among their 7.
And one of the best run producers in baseball the last 4 years is up there in a run producing spot. With one swing of the bat, he could get the Phillies right back in this one.
141 driven in the regular season.
That tied him with Prince Fielder of the Brewers for the National League lead. Howard sat on the final day of the regular season. Fielder had 3 RBIs to finish in that leader spot. That's actually the major league lead as well.
Ian Stewart a mile off the bag at third base. Victorino can walk halfway to home.
Ball and a strike on Howard.
An interesting defensive alignment with the outfielder shading him a little toward left, with Dexter Fowler to the shortstop side of second. You can see his alignment, but Tulowitzki to his left, Stewart to his left. There's the room down the third base line.
Best threat for the Phillies today. And that one drifted to right. That's going to go to the wall. Extra bases for Howard. Victorino scores. Utley will stop around third. A double and an RBI, and the Phillies are on the board in the sixth.
Again, 85 pitches is the most that Cook has thrown since he came back from the DL. And he's beginning to make some mistakes up. Both Utley and Howard have gotten pitches that flattened out upstairs, and they both ripped them. And that's going to do it for Aaron Cook.
Jim Tracy takes the ball from Cook. He leaves with a chance to win, but he leaves with the tying run coming to the plate in game 2. We'll take a timeout.
Contreras was used both as a starter and out of the bullpen. Throws hard, has a good split finger pitch. If he gets ahead in the count, he's a guy that likes to kind of go up the ladder with his fastball, and Jason Worth is a guy who's a good high fastball hitter. No double play in order here. Worth represents the tying run, so they don't want to put him on to set up a potential double play. They'd love to keep the ball on the infield if they're the Rockies.
That's Utley at third. Good speed. Ryan Howard at second. Contreras against Worth. And a first pitch strike, a fastball. Contreras has a great arm. Still throws it in the mid to upper 90s and backs it up with a devastating split finger fastball.
Not very good numbers in the American League. Went 5-13 with an ERA of almost 5.5, but a 1.59 ERA for the Rockies in 7 games.
He's been in this setting before. It's in the postseason with the Yankees and the White Sox, and was with the White Sox during their World Series championship year of 05.
Yeah, he's rediscovered his fastball. That was 95.
37 years of age, acquired by the Rockies from Chicago before the trade deadline. In a hot spot here in the 6th. Strike right on the corner.
Boy,
He throws another one there. Good luck.
96 with a little tailing action coming back to the corner.
It's a tip your hat kind of pitch, isn't it?
What are you going to do with it even if you swing at it?
The run is in for Philadelphia. 4-1 Colorado. And he struck him out. Torrealba secures it at first, and the runners cannot advance. He put it in the same spot did Contreras. And a big first out for the Rockies.
First out of the inning, and it's huge. Some more pressure on Torrealba, too, just calling the split finger pitch, knowing that it might go down in the dirt. This was fastball all the way. Thought for a second that Worth may have foul tipped it, but not so. Some late movement. But you call that split finger from this guy, you better be ready to block it and keep that runner at third base.
Here's Ibanez. Still a base open at first. Now one out. We'll see how Contreras deals with the lefty. Comes right after him, and Ibanez delivers. A base hit. Utley will score. Here comes Howard. He scores. 2 RBIs for Ibanez. And the Phillies are within a run.
Trying to get ahead in the count again, but another fastball. And after watching Worth, Ibanez went up there looking for the fastball, got it, and put a good swing on it. And we got a ball game.
Well, of all the hitters in the Philadelphia batting order, Ibanez would know Contreras the best from the American League. And Ibanez delivers with a big hit. 2 more RBIs in this NLDS for Raul Ibanez. Gives him 4 for the series. Look at those numbers against Jose Contreras. Still just 1 out. Feliz bounces 1 foul, and he's down 0-2.
I would say not only does he know him, he abuses him. Those kind of numbers. Phillies already 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position this inning. 7 for 15 in the series.
3 runs are in. It's easy to employ hindsight here, but a base open at first. Ibanez coming to the plate. A couple of right-handed hitters coming up. Contreras challenges Ibanez, and he delivers right away with the 2 RBI hit.
Well, you don't want to put the tying run on base, but you might want to start something else against a guy that's worn you out.
Shallow fly ball. Fowler can't get it. That falls, a base hit. The 5th hit of the inning. Fowler got a late break.
Well, Pedro Feliz didn't have a good swing that hole at bat, Brian. He was fooled. He was trying to roll over the top of some pitches away from him. And look at this swing. This pitch is down and away, and he just threw his bat at it. And drops in a Ric Flair to right. Ibanez making sure the ball dropped, could only advance as far as second base.
Here's Carlos Ruiz. First and second. Tying run in scoring position. Go ahead, run it first. And Ruiz breaks his bat. Chance for 2 here. Stewart to second. Barbas the turn in time, and the Rockies avoid further disaster. The 3rd double play of the game. They get out of the inning, but the Phillies score 3 times. And it's a brand new ball game here at Citizens Bank Park. 6th inning. And the Rockies' lead is now down to 1. We head to the top of the 7th. Joe Blanton back on the mound. Retired the side in order in his first inning of relief in the 6th inning. A huge double play turn by Colorado after the Phillies put 3 on the board.
And don't forget that rally started on a leadoff error. A throwing error by Barmas. That opened the floodgates.
That one's well hit in left field. Ibanez on the run. That down in the corner. A fair ball. Ryan Spilborghs with a double. That one was in the air a long time. But Spilborghs finds the corner for an extra base hit to start this 7th.
Big hit. If you're a Colorado fan, off-speed pitch that stayed up. Gave him a chance to stay back and turn on it. Didn't hit it a ton. He just hit it in the right place, out of the reach of Ibanez, who doesn't have great speed. But what an answer here after the Phillies made it a 1-run ball game.
Spilborghs put into the starting lineup. He delivers with a hit for Jim Tracy. As Clint Barmas will bat. Barmas at the very least trying to advance Spilborghs to third base here with nobody out. And he bunts. Land's going to third. The throw not in time. Everybody's safe.
That's a little bit like the first inning when Hamels got some instructions to go home on that little swinging bunt by Helton. Hard bunt. But Blanton was told to go to third base, it appeared. I thought I heard Ruiz calling third. And Spilborgh's able to beat the throw. Now they're on the corners.
And a good call over there by Angel Hernandez. Spilborgh's got to the outfield side of the bag. Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah. High tag.
So first and third, a fielder's choice for Barmas. Charlie Manuel will make the double switch here. Going through his lineup with Bob Davidson and his changes.
Well, again, this is good things. These are good things for Colorado. Not that the Phillies got within a run, but that the Phillies are having to go to their bullpen and use these guys. Blanton, a potential Game 3 starter, has been used today, and now Jay Happ comes in, and he was a potential Game 3 starter.
So here comes Happ. Seth Smith, the announced pinch hitter. We'll take a timeout, set it all up when we come back. Emmanuel makes the double switch. Miguel Cairo will take over at third base. He'll lead off in the bottom of the 7th. And the new pitcher, a potential Game 3 starter that might be chucked. It is J.A. Happ on the mound, a talented young rookie.
J.A. is correct. His teammates and everybody here in Philadelphia calls him Jay Happ. And where would the Phillies be without him? 12-4, a 2.93 ERA. One of the leading contenders for National League Rookie of the Year. Started the year in the bullpen. Made 12 appearances in the bullpen before becoming a full-time starter. Just great numbers and a 2.44 average against him. We'll see how much he's used. That might determine whether or not he can come back for Game 3. Keep in mind, Game 3, weather-wise, is very much up in the air. And I'll say cold air. The high temperature for Saturday is expected to be right around freezing. And that's a night game. It'll be even colder.
Still have Pedro Martinez as a possibility. Joe Blanton went an inning plus. And now Happ makes his postseason debut. Seth Smith will pinch hit. One of the best pinch hitters in all of baseball this year. .472 batting average this season as a pinch hitter. He hit so well off the bench, he earned his way into the starting lineup.
Right.
Which is the way it should be.
Phillies defense right now is halfway. Rollins and Utley have shortened up, but it appears that if they get a sharply hit ball to them, they might come home.
Smith, a fly ball hitter for the most part. First and third, nobody out. 4-3 Colorado as they try to add to it. Big cut from Smith.
That was his pitch. Likes the ball out away from him. Happ's fastball 88-92. Good changeup.
Smith, a liner right off Happ. Spilborghs can't run, and Happ cannot make a throw. That one drilled him on the leg.
And he's limping.
A line shot off the bat of Smith, right back up the middle.
See if we can tell where it nailed him. Boy, it looked like right in the knee from that angle. Behind him. Not in the knee, just below it.
Looked like the left leg. The push leg of J. Happ. A prize young prospect. He finally made his way to the big leagues this year and into that starting rotation. He was the one guy that the Phillies would not part with when there was so much talk about Roy Halladay coming to Philadelphia. They wouldn't budge on Happ. They ended up with Cliff Lee.
Scott Sheridan is the trainer that's out with Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie checking on him. But he hasn't even thought about throwing a warm-up toss or just to check it yet. He's hurting, Brian.
Yeah, you can tell his body language shows you. And he really.
Oh, he's limping down the front slope of the mound.
No way you can take a chance on an arm like this with a leg injury.
It's his push-off leg. And it wasn't so evident as when he followed through. He came over the top of his right foot and then had to catch himself with his left. And they're going to go to the bullpen. They don't like what they see.
Yep, Happ's done. Rich Doobie making the call down to the bullpen. So we have an injury replacement here. And nobody was warming up in the Philadelphia bullpen. Remember, Happ facing Smith. This was his first hitter.
It got him right on the knee. I believe they're calling for Scott Air. We'll see. And then he had to slide on that knee to try to field the ball. No play anywhere.
Happ still trying to give it a go, but those who make the decisions
it's already been
have
made.
already decided.
Yeah, Charlie's telling him. He's stepping in front of him now. He's saying, hey, that's enough. Quit throwing.
So Happ is out. We'll take a Colorado started the season 18-28. On May 29th, Jim Tracy was named interim manager, and just days later, the Rockies put together a season-high 11-game winning streak. They won 17 of 18 during that stretch. The Rockies 71-38 since June 4th, the best in the National League, second best in the Major League. So not only have they played well, but they played well for an extended period of time to get to the postseason this time around.
I think they're playing the best baseball of the 4 teams that are in the postseason for the National League. In September and into October, they were by far the best team. If you just take in consideration wins and losses, they had the best win-loss record in September and October. They went 20-11.
Franchise record for wins in a season. Colorado with 92 victories this year. They took a big right cross from the Phillies in the 6th inning. Surrendered the 3 runs, but a double play got them out of the frame, and now they're threatening to tack some more on as we check in with David Aldridge. David?
Guys, Scott Air suffered an injury in early September. He's got bone chips in his left elbow. He showed me the injury. He showed me his arm before the game. He can't even bend it all the way out, and he can barely bend it up toward him past the midpoint of his elbow, but he thinks he's ready to go, and he's trying to actually convince his wife to go one more season. He's been in the big league since the early 90s, 37 years old, but he wants to try it one more time, and he says he's good to go, even though he's seen limited action since suffering the injury, Brian.
Yeah, and David, they're concerned about whether or not they can bring him back on back-to-back days, but one thing about him, he's allowed only 2 hits in 36 at-bats this year with runners in scoring position. 2 for 36, and he's in a big spot here with nobody out and the bases loaded.
Carlos Gonzalez back to the top of the order for the Rockies. And a swing and a miss. Gonzalez free swinging with confidence at the plate. He has 3 hits today. Does not have a hit with the bases loaded this year. 2 singles and a double today. He also stole a base and scored a run. Gonzalez put into that leadoff spot by Jim Tracy, and it has paid off.
Boy, he got a good pitch to hit there and missed it. He's mostly a sinker slider guy. Tons of sliders from Scott Air. And typically, a left-handed hitter doesn't see many fastballs from him. Gonzalez did, and he missed it.
All 3 of Gonzalez's hits against Cole Hamels, a left-handed pitcher. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Gonzalez strikes out. What a huge strikeout that is for Scott Air, with loose bodies floating around at his elbow.
Just a .210 average against him against left-handers. And he really took care of Gonzalez. Fastball off the plate. Another one fouled off. That was the one he wanted back. And then struck him out with a slider.
Air pitched well in the postseason a year ago. Got Dexter Fowler.
And again, Fowler going after the first pitch. You got to remember who's in trouble here if you're Dexter Fowler, and that's Scott Air. Make him throw you a pitch, make him get something up that you can at least hit or drive to the outfield for a sacrifice fly. But he's up there hacking at that first one, and it wasn't a strike.
Fowler drove in a run on a sac fly in the 5th. Also has a sacrifice bunt today. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and an RBI.
It's just hard when you're young not to want to be the guy that gets the big hit and drive in the runs. You're anxious, and it's hard to wait. Hard to be patient for that good pitch.
Hitting coach Don Baylor keeping an eye on his young protege. And a strike. Air gets ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dexter Fowler.
He's done exactly what he needed to do, and that was get ahead of the hitters. Got ahead of Gonzalez and struck him out. He's ahead of Fowler, and while Fowler's tough to double up, he's in a position to strike him out. Dexter just wants to put it in play somewhere.
Fowler sends one to right. Pretty well hit. Worth is back. The runner at third is Spilborghs. He'll score easily as the throw comes into third base. And Fowler delivers again with 2 strikes. He drives in a big run for Colorado. And it's 5-3 Rockies as Fowler has 2 RBIs today.
Great job there by Dexter. Cut down on his swing a little bit. Wasn't thinking about trying to pull the ball. And delivered the sacrifice fly needed. They set up outside, and Air made a mistake there. They wanted it off the plate, but it came back to the middle of the plate, and he just fought it off to right. And now you got to deal with one of the best hitters in the game.
Don Baylor talking it over with Fowler. It's a big RBI. Now Todd Helton with runners at the corners. And Air continues to throw strikes. Joe, I've just been passed a note. Cole Hamels has left the stadium. His wife is in labor. He started this game today, went 5 innings, still on the hook for the loss. Well, when he said it could be any minute,
yeah,
he meant it. Oh, 2 to Helton.
That 2-run homer by Torrealba in the 4th inning may have been what got labor started.
Two outs. 0-2 to Helton. Popped him up. That's your inning. Bases loaded. Nobody out. The Rockies get 1.
struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Back here in Philadelphia, where in early April the Phillies lost their legendary Hall of Fame broadcaster Harry Kalas, who had served this team for decades, voice of NFL films, and one of the great broadcasters in history. To try and continue to honor Kalas during the season, the Phillies have decided, and they do this during every home game, that they bring one of Harry Kalas' suit jackets and his pair of white shoes, and they hang it in the dugout so that the great broadcaster is always with them. This was an idea of Shane Victorino's, who went to the team's director of team travel and clubhouse services, Frank Koppenbarger, and said we should do something to honor Harry. The team loved the idea because Harry was much more than just a broadcaster. He flew on the team plane. He was one of the guys, and they've been doing it all season, and they will continue to do it when they go to Colorado on Saturday, Brian.
All right, thanks, David. Great story. Mike Schmidt said he's as big of a name in Philadelphia as William Penn.
Oh, yeah. And going to be sorely missed. He was such a wonderful man, and a big blow when he tragically died earlier this season in Washington.
We broadcast this game from the Harry Kalas booth. Chris Wheeler, Tom McCarthy, Scott Fransky, Larry Anderson, and Gary Matthews, the broadcasters here, put together a scholarship fund in his name as well for aspiring broadcasters. So certainly pay our respects to the great voice of the Phillies. Matt Belisle is on the pitch for Colorado. 5-3 Rockies. Colorado gets a big double play to get out of the sixth. They add a run in the seventh, and now Belisle out of the bullpen.
Big hard-throwing guy. Did not start a game this year. He spent all of his time in the bullpen. 3 different stints up with the big club this year, up and down from AAA. 3-1 with a 5.52 ERA.
Part of that revamped bullpen for Jim Tracy in Colorado. Belisle will face Miguel Cairo, who leads off. He came in on the double switch last inning, and then the top of the order. Cairo, Jimmy Rollins, and Shane Victorino. Cairo, a guy who spent most of the year in AAA, added to this postseason roster instead of Eric Brundlett, primarily because he's been playing every day, according to Charlie Manuel.
Yeah, they sent him down to AAA, and Charlie said at the end of the season, quite frankly, Cairo was playing better than Brundlett and swinging the bat better, and that was the difference.
Belisle made it to the big leagues with Cincinnati, the starting pitcher with the Reds. Tracy liked him in the bullpen here in Colorado, and he's pitched well for him.
He's got a good arm. High draft choice, originally drafted by Atlanta before being traded. He's a guy that's battled some injuries along the way too, but has good stuff. Good fastball and slider.
The goal to bridge the gap to Houston Street. He was one of the best closers in the National League this year. And a couple of switch hitters coming up next. Belisle may be out there for just one hitter. Right off the end of the bat, Cairo stays alive.
Good curveball. I'm a little surprised to see Belisle, to be honest with you, Brian. With Morales, I know he pitched an inning last night, and they got Betancourt, and they have before they get to Houston Street. So I'm a little surprised that it's Belisle gets a call before Betancourt.
2-2. Cairo hits one deep to left center. Gonzalez and Fowler converge, and Fowler makes the catch. And almost a collision in left center field. The much taller Dexter Fowler cuts in front of him.
Well, they're just fortunate they weren't running on the same line, or they would have run face to face. This is a part of this ballpark. Fowler had his glove up, hoping that Gonzalez could see him. Carlos didn't want to take his eye off the ball, but it's a part of the ballpark in the outfield where it's hard to hear your teammate call for the ball because it's so loud that close to the stands.
Well, Belisle stays. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins, a switch hitter. He's 0 for 3. Lined out to Tulowitzki back in the 5th inning.
Good curve.
Quickly 0-2 on Rollins. Another good breaking ball. Rollins able to check his swing, according to Angel Hernandez. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. These are the numbers that Jim Tracy looks at. Rollins as a right-handed hitter, .230 batting average. Far fewer at-bats than as a lefty, but he sticks with Belisle instead of Morales. Keeps Rollins on the left side.
Jimmy's a more comfortable hitter right-handed than he is left. More power, as you said, and that's part of Jim Tracy's thinking right now, is keeping him on the left side. Same goes for Victorino.
Ball and 2 strikes. And Rollins chases the breaking ball. Down he goes as Matt Belisle in his postseason debut. 2 up, 2 down in this Philadelphia 7th inning.
Most importantly, Matt's come in throwing strikes and getting ahead of the hitters and throws that back foot slider down and in that causes Jimmy to swing over the top of it. Excellent pitch by Belisle. 6'4", 230 out of Austin, Texas.
Here's Victorino. 3 hits today. 2 infield hits in this game. I think Shane was taking. Philadelphia has 9 hits in this game.
Like he just wanted to see one out of Belisle's hand before he went after him.
There's a strike. 1-1.
Ball's really coming out of Matt Belisle's hand easy. That was 94. Nice easy motion.
Hard hit ball right at Barmes. Belisle, 3 big outs for Colorado in the 7th inning. Rockies lead it by 2. We head to the 8th. 10, 9 Central, only on TNT. The Colorado Rockies lead the Phillies 5-3 as we head to the 8th inning. Troy Tulowitzki will lead off for Colorado, and Brett Myers out of the bullpen for Charlie Manuel. And Tulowitzki sends the first one deep into left field. That is way out of here. Fair or foul is the question. That's a foul ball.
Mercy, wow. It was clocked.
Woo. Entirely out of the ballpark almost.
First pitch he sees from Myers, fastball, inside part, and just as you said, Brian, whether or not it was fair or foul, that's up there in the second or third deck where it finally came down.
Just a long, loud strike for Tulowitzki. 0 for 3 today. And he's drilled. Myers hits him with a pitch.
Tulowitzki hit a homer off of him earlier this year. That was way back in April, and then launches one foul. Here was the homer back in April. So maybe Brett Myers got tired of the free swinging Tulowitzki launching balls on him. But in the postseason, on the leadoff man, it's not a time to get any retribution, Brian. That was not a good idea. Oh, got him on the arm too. Left arm, maybe the forearm or elbow. Oh.
It's a dangerous spot for a hitter. Not much protection in that area. The left forearm. Tulowitzki gets some attention near first base. Now the Phillies lost their young hurler, Jay Happ. He was hit by a line drive, had to exit this game after just one batter. Tulowitzki will stay. Myers back in the bullpen. Starting pitcher last year, had hip surgery earlier this season. By the way, update on Jay Happ. X-rays are negative after that line drive from Seth Smith, so that's good news.
That is good
for Philadelphia.
Brett Myers had there's no time to be macho when a guy's taking some good swings at you. I'm sure he was only trying to brush him back and keep him honest, not hang out over the plate. But when you're already down by 2 late in the game, you certainly don't want to run the risk of plunking someone.
Well, Myers struggling with his command here. Spent over 3 months on the disabled list. Had the same surgery that Chase Utley required this offseason, that hip surgery.
He also has been battling a lat muscle issue lately that's slowed him down. He's got a lot of different pitches: fastball, curveball, slider, split, and throwing a lot of cutters, especially to left-handers.
Well, there was some talk that Myers might evolve into the closer's role here in Philadelphia when Brad Lidge was having his struggles and Ryan Matson didn't take the closer's job. A starter all of last season, but pitched out of the bullpen in the first run in the postseason for Philadelphia. That one just missed. 3 balls and a strike on Ian Stewart.
Look for the backdoor slider here, or a breaking ball, and it was wide. Never had the plate.
Hitters count for Stewart with a runner at first. Fouls it away, 3-2. Stewart came into the game for Garrett Atkins. Back in the 6th inning, he pinch hit for him. Struck out in his first postseason at bat. Tulowitzki takes off. Stewart fouls it away.
Myers has a tendency when he's holding runners on not to look at them. especially runner at first. And if you can guess right when he's about to break out of his stretch position, you can get a good jump. And Tulowitzki, 20 stolen bases on the year, has good speed.
Leadoff runner aboard. 3-2 the count. Myers wants to go over the signs again. Stewart has big power. 25 home run season. Tulowitzki takes off, and Stewart fouls it away.
That one was well hit. Stewart's got tremendous power. In fact, during the workout here on Tuesday, Don Baylor was drawing some comparisons, but both with his glove work and his power, to Greg Nettles. Left-handed hitting third baseman.
Pitch number 8 of the at-bat on the way. Tulowitzki takes off. Pitches outside. Ball 4. No play at second. A hit batter and a walk, and Brett Myers has 2 on with nobody out. Just a reminder, Major League Baseball postseason coverage on TBS continues. Following our game, the Cardinals try to even their series with the Dodgers at 1 game apiece. That'll be game 2 of their series. Clayton Kershaw against Adam Wainwright. Dick Stockton and Bob Brindley will have the call from Dodger Stadium, along with Tom Verducci. Wainwright and Kershaw.
Another good matchup.
Those are 2 great curveballs from both sides. You'll see today, first of a triple header on TBS. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. 5-3, the Rockies lead it as we play in the 8th. Colorado dodged a big bullet in the 6th. Philadelphia scored 3 runs, but there was a double play to get them out of the inning with the lead intact. And then Colorado added 1 in the 7th, and threatening once again here in the 8th.
It's a case where Torrealba can be patient with the lack of command for Brett Myers. Let's see if Jim Wright's going to play for a couple more runs and bunt him up.
Good bunt. Only play is first. Sacrifice bunt for Torrealba, who hit the 2-run home run in the 4th inning. Just in case he fashioned himself a home run hitter, he gets the bunt down.
Yeah, well, he's had a really good day. He's called a good game, did a good job catching for Aaron Cook. 2 hits and now a bunt that sets up a couple more runs, a couple of add-on runs here that started with Myers hitting Tulowitzki after he'd hit a ball about 9 miles foul. Let's see what the Phillies do, if anything, here with first base open. Got a right-handed hitter on deck. And they are going to put him on.
Ryan Spilborgh's doubled and scored in the 7th inning. And the intentional walk to perhaps set up the double play. Barmes, the next hitter. And then the pitcher spot in that Colorado lineup.
We've got Chad Durbin in the bullpen too, working with Bastardo, the left-hander. Durbin's got a pretty good sinker, and he might be a guy they go to if they're thinking about trying to get a double play to get out of this. Myers is not the guy you would think of when you need a ground ball.
Well, he's had some command issues, so now you load the bases, nowhere to put Barmes. Clint Barmes with 1 away chases the first one. The Rockies have sent Jason Giambi to the on-deck circle. A menacing sight he is, and he's been a big contributor for Colorado in the final month of the season. A bouncer. Cairo to the plate for 1. So Miguel Cairo makes the decision to come home. They cut off the lead run. Maybe a chance to turn 2. Certainly would have been a risk. But Cairo takes the shore out at home plate.
Well, I think the part of this play and this at bat is that Clint Barmas came up with the bases loaded and 1 out and swung at 2 bad pitches. Neither one were strikes. This was like an 0-2 count that you would swing at this pitch to try to put it in play. So Myers does indeed get the ground ball.
And here comes Charlie Manuel. So Brett Myers will be done. Faced 5 batters. Gets 2 outs. Rocky's still with the bases loaded as Manuel goes to the bullpen. We'll take a break. Game 2, National League Division Series on TBS. Game 2 of this best of 5 opening round playoff series. The Phillies winning yesterday. Cliff Lee went the distance. Philadelphia won 5-1. But the Rockies have the advantage today as we play in the 8th. Brett Myers is out. And he leaves with the bases loaded behind him. And the rookie is on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies. Antonio Bastardo.
He's in there for a lot of starts, too. Of his 6 games, 5 were starts, a high ERA, and left-handers, get this, left-handers hit .303 against him. 10 for 33. So while Jason Giambi hasn't gotten that many at-bats against left-handers, especially lately, 1 for 3 as a Rocky, maybe you get something from Bastardo that he can drive.
And a man with 42 career postseason games against a left-hander who is making his postseason debut, but only 6 games in the major leagues in his career. 23-year-old left-hander Bastardo.
Well, it would be a huge 2-out hit here for Giambi to add on to this lead going to the bottom of the 8th inning, with Utley set to lead off for the Phillies.
Now the Phillies love Bastardo's arm. The power lefty.
The only concern when they kept him on the roster was command, if he would be able to throw strikes. Good breaking ball there. With the injury to J.C. Romero, that put a big dent in their left-handed setup role in their bullpen. They have Air that we've already seen today, and they have Bastardo. But J.C. Romero's injury was a huge one.
Big pitch, 1-2 to Giambi. And down he goes. Bastardo strikes him out. The rookie comes through. The Rockies strand the bases loaded. by stolen base attempts. And this year in the major leagues, the Phillies at the top of the list with the Rangers, 81% success rate.
The Phillies been at the top of that category for the last 3 years.
The power is coming up for Philadelphia. 5-3 Colorado. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Jason Worth.
And Rafael Betancourt, a hard-throwing right-hander, and the setup guy for Street is on the pitch.
Rockies got him from the Indians this year. 61 games this season for Colorado, and look at the strikeouts compared to innings.
And just a 209 average against him. Mostly fastballs to left-handers. He won't throw too many sliders to lefties. He'll try to stay away from them. And then if he gets ahead in the count, he might try to go up the ladder and try to get Utley to chase something above his hands. What a pickup for their bullpen, though, at the trade deadline. They got him for Connor Graham. With the Rockies, who went 3-1 with a 1.78 ERA.
A bullpen that looks today nothing like it did on opening day. Betancourt has Utley down 0-2. Boy, just did get a piece as he put a fastball right by him.
That was another one of the areas that when Jim Tracy took over, the Rockies bullpen said, you know, when the phone rang, depending on what time of the game it was, everybody kind of knew who it was for based on what inning it was, because everybody started getting slotted into roles, and that helped everybody.
Matt Belisle gets 3 big outs in the 7th. Now Betancourt here in the 8th. Bouncer to Helton. Gold Glover gobbles it up. And 1 gone for Betancourt in this 8th inning.
After the Phillies came back to get it within 1 in the 6th inning, Brian, that add-on run in the 7th was just huge for the Rockies to give them a 2-run lead. Solo homer, can't tie it.
Here's Ryan Howard. Howard drove in a run in the 6th inning. RBI double. He also scored a run. He scored the 3rd Philadelphia run in that 6th. All 3 runs coming on 5 hits in the 6th inning, where the Rockies gave up the runs but held serve and kept the lead, then added 1 in the 7th inning.
Even though Betancourt comes right over the top, he does a good job of hiding the baseball. Very deceptive. He cocks it right behind his head. And it's on you before you really have a chance to react.
Throwing a lot of strikes. He's ahead of Howard 0-2. Had Utley 0-2. Phillies do this well. 43 come from behind wins, the most in the league this year. And 13 wins when they trail by 3 or more runs. They've had to come back a lot. Remember, their bullpen has blown 22 saves this season. 0-2 to Howard. Ball and 2 strikes.
He did throw little sliders when he got ahead 0-2. 1 to Utley, 1 there to Howard that were not strikes. Just took a little off. Something to change speeds on it. See if he comes back to fastball like he did to Utley.
Off the end of the bat, Barmas on a hop. Takes care of Howard. 2 up, 2 down. As Betancourt retires Utley and Howard to start this 8th inning.
And backed up the slider with another one. This was supposed to be kind of a backdoor slider, little off the plate. but he had Ryan reaching for it, one-handing it, and he hit it hard, but right at Barmes.
Keeps the tying run in the on-deck circle as Betancourt will face Jason Worth. Worth with 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Excuse me, an RBI yesterday. Hitless today. He's 0 for 3. And he chases one. It'll be interesting to see if Worth reaches here. Does Jim Tracy allow Betancourt to finish the inning, or does he bring in Houston Street for an inning plus? That one's well hit. Deep right center. Fowler at the track. And that one's gone. Jason Worth. A monster home run to center field. And the Phillies are back within a run.
He pulled off the first swing, trying to pull the ball, but got a fastball riding back to him here. And while the wind kept him from hitting a home run yesterday, it doesn't today. Over 400 feet. 1-run game.
Some big power to the opposite field as Worth belts his 5th career postseason home run. At 36 during the regular year. And Jim Tracy will waste no more time. Betancourt is out. And with the Rockies leading by a run, he's going back to the bullpen. Five to 4, and Jim Tracy with a left-hander coming up goes to Franklin Morales, who was closing games in the absence of Houston Street. Morales pitched yesterday, had a scoreless inning, and back on the mound here today.
He came in with the runner at second base after Victorino led off the 7th with a double. He came in and got Utley to foul out, and then got Howard to line into a double play. So he retired both lefties, but Howard did hit the ball hard to start the double play. Did not face Ibanez. And Jason Worth extending his postseason hitting streak with that long one to right center.
Here's Ibanez. Into the pitcher's spot, who's due up next for the Phillies. 2 outs, nobody on. And Morales against Ibanez in the 8th. Ibanez with 2 hits against lefties, a better batting average than against right-handers this year. 285 hitter against same-side pitchers. Morales had him buckling his knees there, and he gets a strike in.
Yeah, he's got a real sweeping kind of three-quarter breaking pitch. It's awfully tough on lefties. Definitely had him flinching.
Hard hit ball, backhanded by Barmes. Inning over. The Rockies give up a run, but they still have the lead as we head to the 9th inning. Wertz homer makes it 5-4. To the 9th we go at Citizens Bank Park. Coors Field, 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 in Denver. Game 3 of this best-of-5 series as the Rockies try to even things up, heading home, a place where they have been very successful this year. 51 wins for the Rockies in their home ballpark. Ryan Madson on the mound for Philadelphia. Gonzalez swings at the first pitch. One pitch, one out in this Colorado 9th inning, Joe.
The Rockies have been very good, Brian, with in their one-run decisions since Jim Tracy took over. Ryan Madson, one of those maligned guys down in the bullpen who have struggled to finish games, but has an excellent changeup, sinking action on his fastball. But 21-11 for the Rockies in one-run games since he took over, and you can attribute a lot of that to settling down the bullpen and getting things set up for the end of the game. Can expect to see Houston Street in the bottom of the 9th.
Street's been one of the best closers in the National League this year. Dexter Fowler with one away. Fowler's had a good day. 2 sacrifice flies and a sacrifice bunt. 2 RBIs in this game for Fowler. The sac fly in the 7th inning was a big one. It's the reason the Rockies still have the lead here in the 9th. No chance. Madson with electric stuff. Fowler is gone. 2 outs in the 9th.
And that's his best pitch. And that's his changeup, and he'll throw it a lot to left-handers. Tulowitzki getting his forearm checked out again. Remember, he got plunked last inning by Brett Myers right after he had hit one into the second deck down the left field line foul.
Todd Helton drove in the first Rockies run today in the first inning, singled and scored in the 4th. 1 for 4 at the plate.
Madsen will use that changeup in any count, ahead or behind.
Got him. Madsen strikes out Helton. And here we go to the bottom of the 9th. The bottom of the order coming up. And the Rockies closer is coming in. This 9th inning, but Jim Tracy wants to make sure he's got the matchup he wants.
Well, he did a smart managerial thing here. He waited to see who was going to be announced as the pinch hitter. Ben Francisco was announced, a right-handed hitter, and then he'll bring in Houston Street to pitch to him, and then force Charlie Manuel to make a decision if he's going to let Francisco hit.
Phillies to their spot in the lineup where the pitcher lived. So Tracy forces the hand of Manuel. Now here comes Street. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come right back as Street gets loose.
And Ben Francisco, good high fastball hitter, pinch hitting.
And Street opens him with a strike. A reminder, those of you looking for the Cardinals and the Dodgers from Dodger Stadium, you can find that game on TNT. And as soon as we're done here, back to TBS they go.
And as you just saw, Francisco will chase sliders off the plate away. But you got to keep the ball away from him. If you go away from him, you got to keep it off the plate so he can't extend his arms and connect. He's strong and he can tomahawk some fastballs.
0-2 on Francisco. Francisco came over to the Phillies as part of that Cliff Lee deal. It was a 4-for-2 trade. Phillies sent 4 prospects to Cleveland for Cliff Lee and Ben Francisco. Cliff Lee, the hero yesterday, a complete game 6-hitter. Now Francisco, with one swing of the bat, could tie things up.
25 of his 35 saves were 1, 2, 3 innings.
And a bouncer to third. Stewart in time, 1 out. Street gets the first one as Francisco is retired.
Well, that's a huge out to get the first one, but when you have 1, 2, 3 innings that often, finishing close ball games, that says a lot. He's not a guy that likes to put runners on and make his manager sweat.
Tim Tracy marking his card. Matt Stairs has been announced as the pinch hitter. Earlier this year in Colorado, Matt Stairs homered off Houston Street. Ended up being a game winner for Philadelphia. It was the final home run ever called by the great Harry Kalas. And here comes Stairs in a spot to tie it in the 9th.
Great sign there. Matt Stairs, good low ball hitter, just likes to lift. Had a tough year, very tough year. As you see, 194. But he can still hit it a mile if you make a mistake, especially down and in.
Had a dramatic home run in the NLCS against the Dodgers last year. 1 gone. Against Street, Stairs 4 for 8 with 2 homers.
Good pitch choice there, though. He's a good first. He likes the first pitch. Good first pitch fastball hitter, and they didn't give him anything to swing at. You can understand from that swing, Brian, why the defense has 3 guys on the right side of the diamond.
That is a back leg special from Matt Stairs. Tulowitzki, the shortstop, on the right side of the infield. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rockies are 2 outs away from evening this series, heading home to Coors Field. Even when he swings and misses, it's entertaining.
Yeah, but look at this pitch from Houston Street. This is 93 miles an hour, set up outside, little off the corner. Good tailing action. Just barely caught the strike zone. That's why he's so effective working those corners with such a good live fastball. Good pitch.
See what he has in mind. 1 and 2. Stairs stays alive.
Went a little farther off the plate, and he still got a piece of it.
Houston Street spent a little time on the disabled list in September. Biceps tendonitis had him out for 2.5 weeks. Didn't return to the Rockies until the 22nd of September. I spoke to him yesterday. He said the injury was one thing, but the time off might actually have helped him. But his arm feels strong. He's got a lot more bite on his slider. 1 and 2. And Stairs stays alive. Just got a piece.
Houston Street's a guy that works pretty fast, but with all these foul balls, he's taking a lot of time between pitches, rubbing up the baseball and preparing for the next pitch.
Former Rookie of the Year in the American League. He's been around since '05, but he's only 25 years of age. The 1-2. Down and in, almost hit him.
And if you're going down and in on Matt Stairs, you better make sure it's there. Something out of the zone. This is the pitch he wants to do business on right here, though. He doesn't want to go 3-2 and have to make a good pitch to Stairs.
Two strikes.
Only 13 walks in 61 and 2/3 innings. That's Cairo on deck. And he'll hit because the Phillies only have one more position player on their bench, and that's Paul Bacco.
Full count. Walked him. The tying run is aboard. Stairs draws the walk.
Nowhere near with the 2-2 or the 3-2 pitch.
Well, Stairs draws the walk, and look who's pinch running. Cliff Lee, who stole a base yesterday, said it's the first stolen base since American Legion. And he's at first, representing the tying run.
He made such a good impression. He gets to pinch run today with a game on the line. It's so loud here, this meeting on the mound. They've got to put their heads together. Saw Tulowitzki getting some attention in the dugout between innings, but the attention is to his left forearm, not his throwing arm.
Tulowitzki quarterbacking. The Rockies have good arms in the outfield. The best is in left in Gonzalez. Here's Miguel Cairo. Rockies outfielders very deep, trying to prevent the extra base hit. Cairo takes a strike.
Started him with a slider. Cairo does not have anything above average speed-wise. Double play candidate if they can get him to hit it on the ground.
Cairo spent most of the year in the minor leagues in AAA in Lehigh Valley for the Phillies. And he's been in the postseason before. Into right. Spilboards. Almost in his tracks. Has it for out number 2. And Houston Street now an out away from sealing this one up for the Rockies. But he's got to go back to the top of the order. And Jimmy Rollins. National League Division Series coverage on TBS. Presented by BlackBerry.
And the one thing that walk created, Brian, is a return to the top of the lineup, and that's something you don't want to do. Anytime you get to this part of the order for the Phillies, even with the leadoff guy, danger lurks. Jimmy Rollins, 21 homers. Right on top of the plate. That left foot, that back foot of his, very much like Chase Utley. And Jimmy Rollins may be even closer to the plate than Utley. Open stance, but he's saying you can't throw anything by me inside.
Rollins pulls it foul. Ball and a strike. Rollins with 21 home runs during the regular year. 43 doubles this year from Rollins. In an otherwise down season offensively, he finished 4th in the National League in doubles. 0 for 4 today. A home run wins it for the Phillies. An out, and the Rockies go to Denver, all even in the series. 1-2.
Swing. Good swing. But again, he's got that left foot planted. He's spinning on that back leg, and he's trying to find something to hit out of here, and he got a pitch up, but he was late on it. That may be the best pitch he gets in this at bat, and he missed it. And Street got away with one there. Ahead in the count. You got to figure he doesn't have to throw a strike here. You can make Rollins try to expand his strike zone and see if he'll chase something down and away. They're coming in.
And Rollins sends one to right, a base hit. Cliff Lee will stop at second. Jimmy Rollins keeps it going. The tying run is in scoring position now. And the winning run is at first.
They came in on him. He's inviting them to come in, and they did, and he made them pay. Oh, mistake. A hanger. It's supposed to be a slider, supposed to try and bury it down and in, and he left it out over the plate. That was a big, risky chance. Torrealba and Street took, and he made them pay for it. They're lucky it stayed in the ballpark because of the way he likes to pull the ball left-handed.
Rollins with his first hit of the day. Cliff Lee pinch running for Matt Stairs at second base, representing the tying run. And here comes Victorino.
This is certainly not one of those 1-2-3 innings that Houston Street has enjoyed this year.
Street had 2 saves in the ALDS back in '06. And his last time on the mound in the postseason gave up a home run to Magglio Ordonez that sent the Tigers to the World Series.
And be careful on the first pitch to this guy.
A strike. Big pitch for Street. He gets ahead in the count on Victorino.
A lot of pressure on the defense here, Brian. Because with 2 outs, the runners will be moving, and any boot will tie the ball game up. Plus the fact that Victorino's so fast, Rollins moves so fast, he may not get a force play. Nice smother there by Torrealba.
Good cut. Victorino fouls it back. 1-2.
This is the part of the game for both sides that we've talked about for the last 2 days, Brian, about how solid the Rockies into the pen has been and how questionable the Phillies has been. And yet here we are with the Rockies in a 1-run lead and Houston Street just having to fight his tail off to get out of trouble.
Again, a 2-strike count. The Phillies are down to their last strike. 2 outs. Cliff Lee represents the tying run. He's at second base.
And then in again. Nope.
Torrealba blocks it.
He went in and then he jumped out. I don't know if that they thought maybe Victorino was taking a peek for location or not. Boy, that was a late movement by Torrealba. Look where he set up and then at the last second jumps away. Nice stop.
It's a big play. Keeps the runners at first and second. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Victorino. In the air, caught by Barmes. Wow. And Houston Street delivers the save that evens the series. The Rockies come to Philadelphia and split with the Phillies and now head home on Saturday night with a chance to take the series advantage. A big save for Houston.